Hi, this is Rob from damontown.com, and this is the third video in a series of a Start Your Blog Challenge. In the first video, we went through on how to go about finding and buying a domain name. In the second video, we showed you how to install WordPress hosting and how to install WordPress on your hosting. And in this video, we're just going to quickly go through some of the settings in your WordPress dashboard. I'm going to see if I can get through this as quickly as possible in under 10 minutes, and let's get started. So this is your dashboard. When you first log into your WordPress website, this is what you'll see. The dashboard just gives you information of what's going on in your install. And again, depending on what plugins you have, there may be some information here, some stats. Like for example, if you have Monster Insights, this will give you an area where it'll give you some quick look stats as to how many people have visited your site. Recently published articles. If there's anything that needs to be done, it'll usually be found here. Along the top is your quick pick icons. If you hover upon your name, you can go, this will visit your site. This will go actually to a live version of your site. This here is where your updates are. If you have updates, you'll see this icon and how many updates there are. As you can see, I have one plugin update. If you have theme updates or if WordPress needs to be updated, you'll see it right here. This is a little quick click. You can click this and you go right to the plugin updates or right to the update screen. This section here is for comments. So if you have any comments that need to be approved or any comments that need to be responded to, you'll see them here. As this is a brand new install, I've got 0 comments on my blog. And this here is for new. So if you want a new post, add some new media, add a link, a page, or a user, quickly you can go right here and click on any one of these and it'll take you to the right place. You can see that there's multiple ways of going about getting things done in WordPress. And a lot of this information here you can get done on the side as well. So we'll cover that as we go through the left-hand menu options. Updates, the same thing. If you click here, you go to the update page. If you click here, you go to the update page. It very simply takes you to a page that shows you what updates need to be done. This is the plugin section. This plugin needs to be updated. I'm not going to do this for this video because it does take a few seconds to go through the update process. I'll show you that in the next video. If your WordPress wasn't up to date, you'd find it here. And if your themes weren't up to date, you'd find all your themes that need to be updated down here. The next section is posts. This is the section that you'll probably use the most. This is where you go and add information to your website. If you have a travel blog, this is where you do your daily journals or your daily telling people what you're doing or where you are, what things to see, things to do wherever destination you're at. So let's take a look at this section here. So this section, if you just click on posts, it takes you to the all post section. If you had more than one post, they'd all be listed here and you'd be able to search them by going up to this section here and just click search posts. This you would use either tags, categories, or the actual name of your post. The only post that's in here now is the default one called Hello World. If you wanted to add a brand new post, you would click this button here, but let's take a look at how to edit. So with this post here, you click on the edit button. It opens up the text editor. This is where you would type out all the information that you need, add your photos, add your videos. In a brand new install, you probably don't see this bottom line here in the text editor. So you find that right here on this last icon that says toolbar toggle. Click that and you'll see the additional options. Clearing formatting, special characters, text color, indent, etc. Down the side here, you can preview the changes. If this was a brand new post on the add new, you'd also have a save draft here. This is to pick the type of format you want. Most of the time you'll be standard. If you're doing something different, you can certainly choose one of these options. These options will also change depending on the theme that you have. So this is the standard 2017 theme. All the options you see here are for that theme. And if you follow the instructions in video number 2, this will be a theme that you have available to you before you choose the theme that you really want to use. Your categories, you can add a new category here. I'll also show you how to add categories on the section over here. Tags, you can add your tags here and choose your featured image. So there's not a lot going on here. The most important section is this here, and this is where you would add the information for each post that you put on your website. To put in media, very simply, go down to where you want your media put in and click add media. It takes you to this screen here. If there was any pictures in your library, you would find them here under media library. Most times you'll want to upload a single image to this particular post. You would just drag and drop the image from your computer into this section and it will automatically upload, or you can select files by clicking this tab. Now, when you upload media, you want to make sure that your media is optimized. So you want the image to be as small as you can possibly get it without damaging the look of the image, and you want it to be the proper dimensions for whatever theme you're using. I'll show you that in just a moment. You can also add media by clicking on this button here. So if you were to add a new post, a brand new post, this is what it would look like. You add your post title and your information down here, save draft, and then when it's completed and you want to publish it, you hit publish. Okay, you can also view what changes you've done by clicking the preview button. Now again, depending on what plugins you've had, what plugins you have installed, you'll have more information below your post. And as we add plugins in the next video, I'll show you what that looks like at that time. Moving on, categories. Categories are ways to navigate around your site. So for example, if you have a travel blog and you are going to different destinations, you might have a destinations category and then a subcategory from destinations. Say you go to Canada, the US, and Mexico. So you could have destinations as your parent category, and then underneath the 3 North American countries. And you just go to this section, you add your category. This will pre-populate after you've added the name, and just hit new category. This is also very important when you're adding menu items. So just remember this section, categories, under the post tab. Media. So this is your media library, and add new. This is the same thing. This is what, if you had already planned your post and you know you're going to put 4 or 5 images into it, you can add your images all at once rather than going individually into the post. So this is the media library. There's nothing in here currently. To add new, again, it just drag and drop files. You can click 3 or 4 files and drag them over here, drop them in, they'll upload to your site, or you can click the select files button and choose the files individually at that point. Links. In version 3.5, WordPress took out the blog roll. They used to have a section in all the sidebars called blog roll, which had links to different places. I've never used this section. I've never even looked at it. So I doubt that you will use it at all, but to take a look, as you can see, it says blog roll category and some links for the WordPress information. The reason they took it out is people were starting to use this for SEO. They were putting a bunch of links in here, trying to game the system for Google rankings. So really, I've never used this section. You might find a use for it. If you do, let me know in the comments what you use it for. Pages. Pages are similar to posts. Posts are the things that you post on a daily basis. So if you have a travel blog and you're going to a theme park and you want to write an article about what you've done at the theme park and how to get in and how much it costs and best practices, how to make it a cheaper day, you do that in a post. Pages are things that don't change. They're static. So your about page, your contact page, privacy policy, those are the examples of pages that you would use this section for, or this is where you would add. You would not do an about as a post, you would do an about as a page. If you have services that you offer, you do that as a page. If you have products that you offer, you do that as a page. And again, you do it the same way, add new or edit, and as soon as you click that, it adds up the same text editor under posts. So please don't get posts and pages mixed up. Pages, again, are for static things like about, contact, privacy policy. Posts are the things that you're writing about that you're doing on a daily or weekly basis. Comments. So if you have comments on your posts, this is where you'd find them. You'd need to go in here to approve new comments, to empty your spam box, or to mark a comment as spam, empty your trash. This is where you would find it under the comments section. Appearance. Appearance, this is another section that you'll use quite a bit. If you want to change themes or add themes, this is where you would go. To customize your theme, to change the widgets, the menus, the header, and finally the editor. So we'll go through these one at a time. If you want to see what themes you have installed in your WordPress, you just click here. It'll take you to the theme section. As you can see, with the default install, we have the 2017 theme, the 2015 theme, the 2016 theme. These are all WordPress themes. You can use these if you like. If you found another theme that you prefer to use, if you watch 2 videos down, we're going to be doing installing themes and going through some theme settings. So go back to the playlist, check out the 5th video. It'll be all about themes. But it is really quite easy. Once you've installed them, you just click activate and your theme gets activated. Before you do that, I usually would take a look at a live preview to see how much work you're going to need to do to actually make the theme look the way you want it. So if you only got an hour to work and there's a whole bunch of changes you need to do to make the theme look good, you would find that out by doing the live preview. Maybe you want to wait till you have some more time before you do that. Customize. Customize. This is where you'll find a lot of the theme options. Now, this is the default 2017 theme options. So this could be very much different from what you're looking at if you're using a different theme. Your site identity, this is where you can put your logo, change the site title. The nice thing about the customizer, it's live. So you can see if I delete site, it actually gets deleted right off the live view here. So you can see exactly what you're changing. If you add that back in, you can see it's added that back in. The site icon, we used to call that favicons. That's the little picture that's beside the website name in your browser tabs. So if you look up at your browser tabs, the little picture in front of the site name, that's what the site icon is. So if you want to have that for your site, just click here and add the image. Colors, this particular theme offers 3 different sections, light, dark, and custom. Your theme might be something completely different, so we won't go through those. Header media, for this particular theme, the header media is this section right here. As you can see, there's the picture, and if you want to change it, you just go in there and add new image, or you can hide this image. If you want to add a video in the background, you click it here. Again, depending on your theme, you'll have some different options here. Menus and widgets. You can change these in the main menu, and that's where I prefer to change them, but we'll just quickly go over this here. You can create a new menu, view the locations where your menus are. Some themes have 2 menus, some themes have 1 menu. In your theme documentation, it'll tell you exactly what menus look out. I prefer to change the menu in another section, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And same with widgets. Widgets are the information that goes in your sidebars and footers. So if you've seen, say, Google ads or affiliate ads or Instagram widgets or an about widget, those are the things that go down the side of a website, down the sidebar of a website. So you can change it here, but again, I prefer to do the widgets in the main menu, and I'll show you that in just a second. Homepage settings, depending on your theme, you'll either want to choose your latest post or a static page. If you choose a static page, you've got to actually choose what page you're going to use as your homepage. Again, your theme documentation will show you that. Most times a static page will have a lot of widgets in the widget section that you will add to a homepage to make it look the way you want it to. For this particular website or this particular theme, it's really designed more for your latest posts. So I'm going to leave it as that for now. And then additional CSS. CSS is little codes that make your website look different. It's kind of like the clothing on your blog. You probably won't use this right away, but the further along you go in your blogging career, you may find some little CSS codes that'll make little changes to your websites that you'll want to add. This is the section where you can add it. Okay, let's go back to the main menu, and I'll show you the widgets in the menu section. This is where I prefer to change the widgets in the menus because it just gives you a little bit more options. It's a little bit more visual. So as you can see, I've dragged and dropped a custom HTML widget in the blog sidebar. If you had a Google AdSense ad that you're putting in, this is where you put the code. Or if you had an affiliate product that had a code that you add that basically has an image and a link, you'd put it in here. And all I did was drag it from here over to here. And you can see, you just edit it. If you don't want this in here anymore, you just delete it. And it's gone. You can add all sorts of things. All the available widgets that you have in your theme are here. Depending on what plugins that you've added or what theme that you're using, these options may be different than what you see here. And you may have many more additional options. So as you can see, if you just want to add text, or if you want to add a search bar, add a section where it shows all your recent posts, you can maybe put that in the footer, and it gives it a title, how many posts to show, and it'll just show you all the recent posts in the footer section 1 of your website. Menus. Menus are very important. You need an easy way that your readers and Google can find information on your site. So you'll need to go to menus. Usually this will be typically in a upper menu, you'll have a home button, an about button, a contact button. Those will go to those pages. And then you'll start having categories, perhaps. For example, on a travel blog, you might have a destinations category where your readers can find all the places that you've been to and all the places that you've written about. On our travel blog, we also have a nomad life category that people can go and see information about how to live the nomad life, or house sitting. We have a house sitting section as well. So this is really where you would create the navigation for your website. The header, I'm not even going to click on this because all this does is take me back to the customizer. And editor. The editor here, you probably won't use, and I would suggest you don't use it unless you know what you're doing. This is actually adding code to your WordPress or your themes functions and your themes code. If you don't know what you're doing, please don't go here. You can really mess up your theme. You can really mess up the way things work. If you have found a snippet of code that you'd like to add and you're not sure how to do it, please leave a message in the comments or get a hold of me. I can certainly give you a hand and let you know how to go about putting code into these sections. Plugins. This is a section that you'll use once in a while. Plugins add functionality to your WordPress site. In the next video, I'm going to go through some of the plugins that I like and some of the plugins that I use on pretty much every website that I have, and how to install them. Right now you can see there's only 3 here. Hello Dolly is installed by default. I've never activated it. I'm not sure even why they keep doing it. It's something that's been put in since WordPress 1. Akismet, that is anti-spam. That's to keep spam out of your blog comments. I'll show you in the next video when we do plugins how to go about getting your API key from Akismet. And login attempts. If you followed my instructions in the previous video, this was a plugin that we installed automatically. And when we get down into the settings sections, I'll show you how to change the login attempts here. To add a new plugin, you just click this button and it goes to a section where you can add plugins from the WordPress repository, or the you can add a new plugin via zip file. I'll show you how to do that in the next video. Users. If you want to add a new user, if you've just set up your WordPress site, perhaps you have somebody that writes for you that you want to add as a contributor, or perhaps you've got your husband or wife wants to help you run your blog. You can add them as an administrator. This is the section that you'd go to. Also, when you first set up your WordPress site, you should come in here and add some information about yourself. I will show you what that information is. This is the add new user site. This is where you would put in the person's name, their email, first, last name. The username is where they're going to log in. So this is what you want to show as their login information. If they have a website, you can put it here, and then you can generate them a password. On the, I've actually changed that page. So let's see if I can get back to it. On the general settings, this is the general settings site. This box here, if your theme supports an author's box on your posts, this is the information that will be displayed. So you can fill in your biographical information about yourself. And this is the section you should fill in for yourself. This is my profile, so you can add your name, and your nickname is required. So if you want your name, you can add your name in this section, or if you are writing under a pen name, you can add it here, or if you have a nickname that everybody knows you by, you can add it here, and this will be displayed on your posts. On all the posts, it'll say posted by or published by somebody. So this is where you would change that, and then you would pick that here. Contact information, this actually will be pre-filled in for you. This is the email that you used when you signed up. And that's it for this screen. Click save and you're done. Tools. You won't use tools very often. If you are importing your website from another install, you may use the import-export tools. Depending on, again, what plugins you use, you'll have perhaps some more options down here. The export personal data and erase personal data, that's new for the GDPR rules that went in May of 2018. So you can explore these at your leisure. You really won't use these very often. If you want to erase personal data from a subscriber, this is where you would go do it. Settings. Now the settings, there are a few things that you'll have to do for a brand new site, and one that you really have to do before you write your posts, and we'll get to that in just a moment. The general settings, I'll show you here. This is the same thing that was in the customizer. You can change the site title, your tagline name, where your WordPress install is located. This will be pre-filled in with the email that you used when you signed up. This is the important one here. You want to make sure this box is not checked. You do not want anybody to be able to register on your site. Otherwise, you're just going to get a bunch of spammers and fake accounts signing up and it'll just be using up space on your install. Down here's a few other little things you want to change. The time zone that you're in, how you want the date format, the time format, when you want the week to start on. When you've got that all filled in, just click Save Changes. For writing, again, most of this you're not going to change. You can leave this as uncategorized because you can choose what post what category your posts go into on each individual post. Most of the time, you're just going to want a standard format for your posts. Links, you're not going to add links in the blog roll, so again, you can just leave that as is. The only thing you might want to change is if you want to post, publish articles via email, you need to fill this section in. I've never done that. I've heard it works really well. So if you do want to publish posts by email, say you're out and about and you're writing a whole post on your phone, I'm not sure why anybody would want to write 500 to 1,000 words on a phone, but if you do, you can set this up that you can just mail your post in and it'll be published. Reading section. So again, same thing in the customizer. You can choose your latest post or your static homepage, how many posts to show, how many posts to show in your syndicated feed, full summary or full text or your summary. I usually would choose summary. You just get some more information into the people that are looking for it in your feed. As well, if you have your full text, it's really easy for people to pull your information and basically steal it and put it on another website. So I would usually change this to summary and then click Save. Make sure this box is not checked. If you check this box, you're not going to be listed in Google or Bing or any of the other search engines. So please make sure that this box remains unchecked. Discussion. This is where you set your comment information. Allow link notifications from other blogs, pingbacks, and trackbacks. You can leave that on for now. If you start to get a whole bunch of them, you can certainly unclick this and change it so they don't come in anymore. You want to allow people to post on your to comment on your posts. Maybe you don't. If you don't want any comments on your articles, then make sure you come to this section and unclick this box. Most people want to leave the comment section for now. You want to require the person who's making a comment, you want them to require them to do something. Otherwise, you just get a whole bunch of spammers. Even if you require them to put in their name and email, you're still going to get a bunch of spam comments. That's why you need a Kismet to weed those out. Anyone can post a comment. Comment is held for moderation. I would definitely do those so you can make sure that any inappropriate comments aren't put onto your public-facing website before you have a chance to either approve them or delete them. Comments must be manually approved, or the comment author must have previously approved comment. So I would leave this as is. All the comments must be approved. If you've already approved somebody, though, by having this checked, you don't have to go back and approve them again. This gives you some options as to making sure that if a comment has certain things in it, it will definitely be held. So for example, he has 2 or more links. Typically, a spammer will put in links to his website or links to a bunch of places, so you want to make sure that remains the same or even lower. And if there's certain words that you want to see in a comment, you can put them in here, and that comment will be held for moderation. And blacklist. So if you've got somebody that continues to come to your site, leave bad comments or leave spam comments, you can come in here, add their email, their URL, IP address, and you can blacklist them so they cannot leave comments anymore. Avatars, you just leave this as it is. If you go to Gravatar, you can get yourself your own avatar. If somebody doesn't have it, you can change it here to whatever you want. Just change it to whatever picture and hit Save Changes. Media. This is where you go to find out what your theme's requirements are for the media files. So for the base theme, the thumbnails are 150 pixels by 150 pixels, medium size 300 by 300, and the max size large is 1024 pixels both ways. So if you choose a new theme, this is where you come to find out how big your pictures should be when you upload them. So for this particular theme, the max width should be 1024. When you're optimizing your images, that's the max size that you should be doing. Doesn't mean you have to have a square picture, just means whichever your long side is needs to be 1024. Permalinks. This is the other section that you have to go to change. This usually is filled in for your domain name, category name, post name. It's usually the custom structure. So that's usually chosen by default. Most people want to have this domain name and your post title. If you really want to have something different, you can choose any one of these, or you can choose a custom structure. 95% of all blogs I've seen have domain name and the post title. You don't want this one. It's ugly. It's horrible. I don't like having dates in it because, of course, you might have information that is not date dependent. So why have a date? Why date your article? So this is the one I choose. You click post name and click save at the bottom. That's all you have to do on this section, but it must be done before you write your first post. Privacy, this is a brand new tab after the GDPR in Europe. This is where you can select your privacy policy. I will discuss that in the next article about pages that you need to have done. And you can create a new page or choose a page that you already have. Limit login attempts. This is where you go to change the settings for the plugin that we defaulted when we first set up our WordPress. I've already changed this, so these numbers will be different from what you're looking at. I only allow 3 tries. I change this to 2 hours because, after 3 tries, you want them to be logged out. Obviously, it's somebody trying to get in that doesn't know what they're doing. If they're logged out twice, then it increases to a 24-hour time period before they can try again. You can change these to whatever you want. The lower number for allow retries and the higher number for lockout will prevent more and more people from trying to break into your site. However, if you forget your login ID, you can also lock yourself out. So just keep that in mind. And that's it. Those are all the options on the base WordPress install. So if you have any questions or problems, leave them in the comments or leave them, get a hold of me, send me a message, and I will see if I can help you out. Hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. And the next videos that are coming up are how to install plugins, how to install themes. Thank you very much. Have a great day.